St. Monica Church. The name of the official name is
St. Augustine Parish,
right?
St. Monica Church here in Chippewa.
And you're tying in Catholic education and the second dawning of an atomic age in one presentation.
Yeah. Well, it builds on the talk I gave back in the spring at the Beaver Heritage Museum, marking the 40th anniversary of the Chernobyl disaster, and kind of traced the connection between Chernobyl and the shipping port atomic power station that was built here in the 50s. And out of that talk came a lot of questions about how that relates to today, to the burgeoning world of AI.
Data centers.
And the data centers, which are being built essentially a literal stone's throw from where the shipping port atomic power station stood. So, and then as I was thinking about this and debating about it with different people, the Pope did me a favor and wrote a papal encyclical about AI.
Oh.
And so out of that then came the idea for this talk, which applies the insights of what's called Catholic social teaching to the AI age. Not only how we build it, but why we build it, what for, what's its purpose. And I think it's timely given the debates that have really cropped up, particularly over the last few months, about data center development. So that's what tonight's talk is about.
It's definitely being built. Where AI is here, it's coming, and it's more coming. Is now the time to kind of decide how it's used?
Yeah, and I first, even before how, why. That was the great thing about Shippingport, and what made Shippingport safe, dependable for almost 3 decades, in comparison to Chernobyl, which was none of those things. And it's that before they began building Shippingport, or the reason they began building Shippingport, was because President Eisenhower stood in front of the United Nations less than a year into his presidency and said, look, we have this very frightening power that no human beings have had before, atomic power, and it made its debut on the world stage at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, so people were justifiably afraid of it. But Eisenhower saw that it was going to be here, as you said, and so the only choice we was to figure out how to use it for peaceful purposes, and that became what was known as his Atoms for Peace initiative. And Shippingport was really the proof of concept in a lot of ways for Atoms for Peace. So I think that's what's missing today. Eisenhower had a moral vision for wanting to take what he called the fearful atomic dilemma and find a peaceful purpose for it. And he wanted to ease, Cold War tensions. And what was amazing about this is that, Eisenhower was no dove. He was the supreme Allied commander in World War II. But he was also, so he as both general and as commander-in-chief, had at his disposal the most awesome military power known to mankind at that time, ever. And he used it, but he also spent the rest of his life arguing for its restraint. Very famously went out of office warning of, the military-industrial complex, which we're still, dealing with today. So I think we can apply what we've learned from the atomic age to what may well be, certainly it's the AI age, but it may be, in fact, a second atomic age, because all of this runs on electricity. And probably, I think, the only really practical way to generate enough electricity to run these things is by building nuclear power plants. So we'll touch on all those things, but we do it through the lens of Catholic social teaching. You don't have to be Catholic to either enjoy or benefit from this. I always say Catholic social teaching ain't just for Catholics. You don't have to agree with the theology to appreciate the framework.
What did the Pope say about artificial intelligence?
Well, you know, interestingly, his encyclical, which is called Magnifica Humanitas, which means magnificent humanity, is really a work about anthropology. It's about the nature of human beings. And I guess if you could boil down, you know, the crucial argument he's making is that all these things have to serve the purposes and the dignity of each individual human person. And so every decision that we take has to be made in light of that, not good idea, not suggestion, obligation. We have an obligation as human beings to the sacred human dignity of all other human beings. And so he spends most of his time developing that line of thought in Catholic social teaching, which dates back to another historical period, which was the Industrial Revolution. And his predecessor, Pope Leo XIII, and he chose his name, Pope Leo XIV, very purposefully, wrote an encyclical called Rerum Novarum, which means the new thing. And the new thing at that time was this Industrial Revolution and the plight of displaced workers, the plight of the environment. And it was also a response to socialism, which because of that, of those conditions, was becoming more popular. So Pope Leo XIII sought to kind of thread a needle between the demands of capital and the dignity of labor.
So the Pope himself, not opposed to AI or anything like that, but it's incumbent on us to be using it for the proper reasons that build each other up and not.
Yeah, I mean, it's how can you even be against AI? I mean, I guess you can choose, not to use it, but you may not even have that choice because it's going to be everywhere. So, the technology is here, and it's going to be here. The old phrase, you're not going to put the genie back in the bottle, much in the same way that we weren't going to put the atom, back in the bottle after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after guys like Oppenheimer and Sakharov built the bombs, right? Within a very short amount of time, the United States had the atom bomb, and then it had the hydrogen bomb, and very quickly after that, the Soviet Union had both those things. So that was a peril that Eisenhower sought to address. In the same way, I think the Pope is trying to address the fact that we have this fearsome power, and we have to figure out how to use it. And I think for us in Pennsylvania, which can be a leader in this, and in the United States, I think it's incumbent upon us to figure out how to lead that. Because if we don't, the Chinese will. And whoever figures this out and leads, and whose AI infrastructure becomes kind of the de facto infrastructure that the world follows, then their beliefs, their assumptions are going to be built into that. And we don't share the same beliefs and values and thoughts about the human person that the Chinese Communist Party does. So that's why this is so important that we get it right.
I know you've done extensive research. When they were building Shippingport and after it was completion, after people realized what was there, what was the reaction from Beaver County people? Were they fearful of it? Were they accepting of it? Were they glad it was there? Were they proud of it?
I'm sure there were people that were, there's always going to be folks that say, not in my backyard. But you talk to so many people, and a lot of them showed up at my talk in Beaver. They were proud to work on it. It was a huge point of pride for Beaver County, for Western Pennsylvania, whose skilled workforce was particularly prepared to build that. So I think it was, in large part, a positive thing. And again, because Eisenhower and others gave it a why, people were consulted in, how and where it was going to go. It was a public-private partnership between the federal government that supplied the reactor, which came from a canceled nuclear warship, supplied the person who oversaw it, which was Admiral Hyman Rickover, who was the father of the nuclear navy and who was, let us say, inflexible about safety standards and how this thing would be built and how it would be run, and again gave it a forward-thinking purpose that was meant to benefit mankind. I think that in many ways that's largely missing from the debate right now. We're the governor who was the biggest cheerleader for this a year ago when he was on stage at Carnegie Mellon announcing the $10 billion that's going to come to Beaver County to build it. He was the biggest cheerleader, for the industry. He was up there kind of dressed in his best tech bro finery and said, Pennsylvania is moving really, really fast on this. A year later, he's giving an executive order to say, we have to put the brakes on this because the public polling shows people aren't comfortable with it. And I think while a lot of that has to do with fears about it, the bigger issue is understanding why are we doing it in the first place? We have to give it that why.
Yeah, you mentioned now literally a stone's throw from where the Shippingport nuclear plant is, plans for a gigantic data center. And I would agree, when they first announced it, it didn't seem like there was much objection. People were okay, but now it seems to be ramping up. People are opposed. Why is it? Are they hearing more? Are they justified in their objections? Or
certainly, I think people are justified in their questions.
Questions would be a better
right?
word. Yeah.
Is this going to explode my electric bill? What's it going to do to the environment? What are the environmental impacts?
Noise seems to be an issue.
Noise is a big thing that people talk about. I'm not saying that I know right now the definitive answers to those things. The more you read into it, the more you see conflicting accounts of where we actually are in terms of the technology and its impacts.
It seemed to me Pennsylvania passed some laws to address that, including the water and electricity would have to be supplied by the company making it.
Well, that's what the governor's executive order last week, talks about that. And in Washington, the Trump administration has this ratepayer protection pledge, which says if you build it, you create the energy that runs it, right? Where you shouldn't ask, guys like me and you to be, speculators in AI technology because, we're not going to get the profits from that, and we shouldn't get these huge bills. I think those things can be addressed, but I don't think, again, there's a vacuum of actual vision and leadership, the kind that Eisenhower gave to the atomic age. And when there's a vacuum like that, it gets filled up with a lot of stuff, some of it useful, some of it not. There is also reason to believe that the Chinese have been, let us say, helping to exploiting that vacuum of leadership and doing things through social media to foment that type of opposition to the building of these data centers, because they don't want us to lead in this. They want it, and they're building. They've in the last 4 or 5 years, they've built a capacity for power generation that dwarfs our grid. In 2025 alone, I think they've significantly outpaced the amount of power we generate, and they're building half of all the nuclear facilities now being built in the world. So they clearly have a plan for this, and we need our own plan. we need our own vision, and it can't be simply couched in economic development terms. Shippingport was not a works progress administration job. It was a strategic initiative about many things, including national security. And I think we have to think about how and why we're building these data centers in a similar light.
And do you think there'll be more nuclear plants constructed to help with that grid?
I think so. And again, with our great industrial heritage here in Western Pennsylvania, Westinghouse is building those modern nuclear reactors, based right here in Cranberry. I think when you consider the amount of energy that's needed to supply AI, and you think about the environmental impacts of energy production, nuclear is the one that makes the most sense, the cleanest, I think the safest when it's done right. And Rickover proved that at Shippingport. And I think the most cost effective. I don't think there's going to be any alternative, personally, for us to start building a nuclear plant. I think it's already happening. Even 3 Mile Island right, is back online. So yeah, I think the AI age is bringing a resurgence of the nuclear age, and probably it's a resurgence that's long overdue.
We're talking with Steve Catanzarite about a presentation he's giving tonight at St. Monica Church. We'll be back right after this.
If you have kids going off to college this fall, one of the most important things to consider is their new car. College kids need vehicles that are fuel efficient to save money and are versatile for cargo and passenger space, and also have a sporty exterior. When you're looking for a new back-to-school car for your student, look no further than Moon Township Ford. They have plenty of vehicles that your student will love, whether new or pre-owned. And for everyone else, summer means it's time to get going and enjoy the warm weather. If your truck is your lifeline to towing recreational vehicles, campers, boats, and carrying jet skis, fishing gear, and more, the Ford F-150 truck is the vehicle for you. No matter where your summer vacation takes you, the adventure will be more fun in a new vehicle from Moon Township Ford. Summer vacations or back-to-school gear up. Trust Moon Township Ford to have what you need. University Boulevard, across from Robert Morris.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
At Saints Peter and Paul Catholic School, we believe parents have the fundamental right to guide their children's growth and education. Saints Peter and Paul offers parents a school choice that emphasizes rigorous academics, wholesome character formation, and strong leadership development in a Christ-centered community of learning. And now, thanks to generous financial support, Saints Peter and Paul School is making it affordable for all students to enjoy the blessings of an authentically Catholic education. Welcoming families of all faiths, Saints Peter and Paul Catholic School is now enrolling students in pre-K through 8th grade for the 2026-2027 school year. For more information or to schedule a tour, call 724-774-4450. That's 724-774-4450. Saints Peter and Paul Catholic School, Beaver, lighting the way since 1954.
That's a good radio voice there, don't you think?
I think so.
Scott Teddy, joined by Steve Catanzarite. Tonight, we'll be giving a presentation at St. Monica Church in Chippewa. The talk titled Bringing Order Out of Chaos, Catholic School Teaching at the Dawn of the Second Atomic Age.
Catholic social teaching.
Catholic social teaching. Oh,
Yeah.
I left the word out there. I'm sorry. Okay.
Catholic social teaching, which is a 135-year tradition and ongoing developing line of thought about how human beings relate to each other.
Now, remember your successful presentation at the Beaver Station? You had pie there. You going to have any treats tonight? Or?
I think they ended up having cupcakes. I was promising pie, and people showed up and they were giving cupcakes, and I think might have been a walkout.
It's all good.
We're very upset. Yeah, but
What time is your talk?
7 o'clock tonight
Okay.
in the Founders Hall, the social hall at St. Monica in Chippewa. It's an illustrated talk, so there's lots of interesting photos and artifacts. Talk about Eisenhower, talk about the Pope's new encyclical, talk about AI, data centers. It's a little, I will keep it light.
Will the day come when AI? How do I say this? My opposition is aesthetic. Every single AI ad looks the same to me. I should be more worried about the environment and the noise. Maybe I'm worried about when I see an AI ad on Facebook, I just scroll right past it because it looks like the last 10 AI ads I saw. Do you see a day where it progresses, where it's more individualized, the art is better, the look is more tailored to the person?
And you know, that aesthetic that you mentioned, that's very important. That goes to the humanity of this, right? Human beings create things that sometimes what makes something really good may be its imperfection, or you know. And when you look at something, AI makes images that are very sterile, and you can pick them. You can pick it out right away, as you said. I think the more that we think about making this technology serve the human being, the more that we think about and put at the forefront the dignity of every human person, the more we'll make AI more responsive and better, a better technology. It's a tool like any other tool, and you have to know how to use a tool. A hammer can be used to build somebody a house, or it can be used to smash somebody's windshield. How and why we use these things have to come before the process itself, or the what.
Well, it is a unique and fascinating topic, and you're going to be talking a bit more about this on a show we're hoping to launch right here on Beaver County Radio.
Yeah, we're hoping to launch a show beginning in October on Saturday mornings that gives some time to give a longer format consideration of these issues, and in particular, not just the technology, not just the politics, but the humanities. I think we need a resurgence of the liberal arts and humanities in our universities, in our schools. We need not only technical training, but formation of people, which takes, to use an old term, the whole person. And so that show that we're hoping to launch, called Critical Hours, is going to kind of apply the humanities, the arts, culture, to these questions of technology and the impacts that they're going to have on future generations.
Are there any examples of guests you would have on the show, or it doesn't have to be specific names, but like?
I wanted to get Brian Eno,
the producer for the Talking Heads.
And I'm
going to be there for that one.
But he's actually been somebody who's thought about these things through a foundation that he has called the Long Now, that he started with Stuart Brand of the Whole Earth catalog. And interestingly, Eno's more of a man of the left, but he's even come around to nuclear power, recognizing that it's probably the cleanest, safest technology that we have. I don't know. We're going to have Dan Leroy, our good friend. We're going to have another good friend, Roger Morrow, who's going to offer a moment with Morrow, a commentary at the end of every show.
He has a new publication recently renamed the Beaver County Almanac.
Yeah, he does just tremendous work. Such a great writer. He's been really instrumental in helping me think about these issues, what I'm going to present this evening, because he challenges it, and Roger's been some interesting places, done some interesting work, so he has a perspective.
Speechwriter for President Ford, is that right?
Ford, yeah, and for Governor Thornburg, and lots of other things for business, for industry, and I think again is somebody who brings a humanistic approach to these questions.
Beaver County guy.
Yeah. So more about the show, Critical Hours, launching in October. More to come.
Yeah, looking forward to that very much. So,
Me too.
Well, let's tie back to your presentation tonight at Chippewa one more time. What do people need to know about what's happening?
Yeah, it's called Bringing Order Out of Chaos: Catholic Social Teaching at the Dawn of the Second Atomic Age, and we're really going to consider some different ways to think about these technologies, think about how and why we build data centers, why we need to, but how we should do it. it'll be hopefully a conversation and a dialogue, and it's put on by a great group there at St. Monica Church called Verbum Day, that hosts speakers on a variety of topics. So they do great work bringing people together to talk about important things.
I can't think of a more timely topic.
Yeah. I mean, other than a trailer park in East Palestine. I mean,
I was thinking of a way to go to there too, but
I've been waiting this whole time to sneak that in, but
we got into that in sports. But Steve Catanzarite, always great to have you here. Appreciate you coming in.
It's great to be here, Scott.
Good
Good
luck
to see
tonight.
you, man.
You
Thank
take
you.
care. All right.
Thank you.
If you own a company or a small business,